All right, I think we're getting good stuff here. All right, I think we're good. Yeah, you're absolutely right, Freedom. It would not be a Nate Snyder live stream without me being late. That's when you know. That's when you know. All right, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. My name is Nate, and welcome back to another weather forecast. Well, not a weather forecast, actually. It could be a weather forecast discussion tonight if no storms form. Then we'll just be live for like several hours with nothing happening. Um, but welcome to another live stream. Some strong showers and thunderstorms capable of producing some strong tornadoes. But it is very, how should I put it? It is very hot and cold. It's a flip of a coin, if you will. And, honestly, it's kind of really interesting to see how things may try to put itself together because there's a good chance that even with this severe thunderstorm tonight that we currently have right now, and we'll show you here in a second, I'm almost done setting up my live stream. There's a good chance that we may not even see anything significant. There's a very good chance with that. There's a very good chance that we might see 2 or 3 supercells that produce strong tornadoes. We just simply don't know right now. We won't know until things start to kind of kick off and fire off. So, we are going to be here regardless. We are going to watch this regardless, but I want to show you guys here the outlook of severe weather here today because it has changed since this morning. First off, welcome to the stream. How's everyone's day going so far, by the way, chat? Let me know in the chat. I'm curious. I'll read through a couple of them once we get a little bit of time, but we do have a larger 3 out of 5 on the severe weather scale, which extends from the border of Texas and Oklahoma all the way up into Kansas City. A lot larger of a 3 out of 5 here. And then we also have a bit more of an expansive 2 out of 5 on the severe weather scale, which goes into southern Iowa all the way down into central Texas. So, if you know anyone that lives within these areas, I would let them know that there is the potential for maybe some form of severe weather in general. It's possible, once again, it's possible. But we will have to see. We also do have a tornado watch that has been issued. You can clearly see this red little polygon right within this area. This is our tornado watch. For reference, the watch probabilities here are 50-30. And the main reason for that is simply because there is a lot of uncertainty when it comes to the track and the coverage of these significant thunderstorms and whether or not they could potentially be more than what the parameter space says for it. So there is a lot of, as I said, uncertainties, but we're going to get there eventually. If you haven't already, hit that thumbs up button down below. That helps us get onto the YouTube algorithm, helps us spread our information with more and more people across the board. California being funny with that 2%. Yeah, I said on Twitter, I said, imagine that being the only tornado today, or the only tornado warning of the day. I doubt it, but it probably would still be a really funny April Fool's joke. All right, we're going to go over to our radar here, as we do have a severe thunderstorm warning for one of those storms. It just recently popped up and just caused quarter-sized hail to fall from the sky over the town or the city of Enid. So folks that are over here near Kremlin, Hunter, Garber, Billings, Salt Fork, and Lamont here in Oklahoma, definitely going to want to watch out for the potential of a strong, severe storm. In my honest opinion, over the next 2 hours is probably the best time frame in which we could probably see our significant tornado within this particular storm. So start the watch, start the timer here, because that's kind of what we're anticipating with this storm. But it is still kind of struggling at the moment. This thing is trying to get a better ZDR arc here. It is trying, but it is going through multiple cycling phases. And it's shedding itself off a lot. So until it ends up making that right motion turn, this thing right now is just a hail and wind maker. And that is pretty much it. Got Subway coupons, Subway's pregnancy craving. There it is, Kaylee. There you go. Seems legit. Low on nerd gummy clusters. It could be better. I understand that, honestly. Gummy clusters, nerd gummy clusters are pretty good. Eating bacon and eggs, also fighting with a headache. Well, I'm sorry for your headache, but I'm definitely jealous about the bacon and eggs. Eggs are one of my favorite foods. Yeah, it indeed is to an extent, Joseph. It's kind of, it's in and around. It's working on itself. We'll have to see what this storm will try to do here in the near future. Cell looks mid in person. I figured as much, Sam. I figured as much. It'll take quite a bit of time before we actually get something real. Look at a couple more things. Take a look at Twitter DMs. I will take a look at Twitter DMs. That's the new HRRR, by the way. Well, now I kind of want to take a look at the new HRRR, but a part of me wants to say it's wrong already. That photograph is insane. That cap is just absolutely brutal, though. It is keeping a hold on a lot of these storms. I think at minimum, a lot of these storms here tonight could definitely produce some large hail. But all right, let's pull up the latest HRRR. Because you guys said to look at that. And immediately it is wrong. This is not... No. You want to know why it is wrong, chat? This is 23Z, correct? This is the 23Z frame. This is 6 p.m. Central Daylight Time. Take a note where the thunderstorm is at. The thunderstorm, according to this model, is located near Geary and Hinton. And it already has a hail core, according to the HRRR. But if we look back at radar, where is said storm? The only storm I see here, we can even go back to when the model run was supposed to initiate, right here, is in Enid. So what that tells me is the HRRR is wrong. It messed up the initialization point and therefore messed up a couple of the other storms down to the south and west of it. The HRRR, this run, first off, any HRRR run that's within an hour of the actual event should not be trusted. Do not take this verbatim that a storm is going to hit northern Oklahoma City. All right. If there's going to be anything, we're going to want to pay attention to mesoanalysis. But considering the fact that there hasn't been a storm over here along I-40 quite yet, the only real reason why we saw that storm form was because there was something that popped up on that. I'll tell you what, the WAFs is absolutely loving life, though, because the WAFs got this correct. There's a storm that forms near Wichita Falls, and now we've got explosive initiation over here to the west of Wichita Falls. What is the best free site to view Cape values? The Storm Prediction Center Mesoanalysis. If you get onto the mesoanalysis page right here, first off, you have to choose your sector. But if you go on to thermodynamics and go on to 100 millibar mixed layer Cape, you'll get all you need to know. True facts. We'll go back to Frederick, Oklahoma's radar. Let's take a look. What do we got here, chat? Will Gentry, Arkansas get any storms? At some point between today and tomorrow, yes. Or at least I think they could. I wouldn't rule that out. But I'm going to look specifically as to where Gentry is. Gentry, Arkansas is in the northwestern portion of the state. Yeah, you guys will more than likely get some form of storm activity overnight tonight into tomorrow. I'll even show y'all. Look at this. There's a couple thunderstorms that try to pop up in and around your area. And overnight, look at that. Actually, tomorrow morning at around 7 or 8 a.m., some storms could be moving on through too. How do I think tornadoes looking Wednesday's looking tornado-wise? Wednesday is very interesting. It's not the cold front that we're going to be looking out for. It's the cells that are out in front. The cells out in front are going to have about a 2 to 3 hour window before the cold front catches up. I do think we will see some strong tornadoes at some point tomorrow. That's just how many and for how long is what I'm currently still trying to figure out. Sells butt cheeks right now? I wouldn't be surprised. Charge my phone? Fine, I'll charge my phone. Sheesh. Is it doing a left split right now? That's a good question. I'm going to go check up on that northern cell. Look at 0.5 degree tilt. Yes. It did perform a left split. So watch out for the potential of a right-moving supercell here, chat. Watch out for the potential of a right-moving supercell. That basically enhances the lower-level vorticity in the atmosphere. The storm modifies the vorticity to be able to be constructive for tornadoes. So we'll watch out to see how this thing does move about. But I wouldn't be surprised if we had a shift from the northeast to the east-northeast. And the track could honestly get really close to Ponca City. I'm not going to lie. Ponca City might have to really watch out for the potential of something here. So there's the damage threat, considerable severe thunderstorm warning for golf ball sized hail. So that'll definitely do it. I wonder if it's anything larger than that. It actually is. I think that's tennis ball sized hail. That is tennis ball sized hail. So tennis balls are actively falling from this storm. As I said, Tonkawa, Ponca City, Newkirk, Blackwell. This is going to be really interesting. If this thing turns right, it'll head straight for or near Ponca City. So watch out, Ponca City, if you're over there. 38,000 foot tops on Wichita Falls, so that's not too surprising. Pretty early considering the storm's coming to Lawrence. Going to start way later. Curious to see what else is happening elsewhere. I totally get you. Missy, what's up? Welcome to the stream. Clayton, what's up? Nice to see you. What do I think of the timing for tonight in Dallas? That is a good question. I'm actually interested to see that myself, because that was honestly a question I had earlier. With the HRRR, it's going to say that there probably won't be any storms until tomorrow morning. But if we take a look at the WAFs model, go down here. It probably will be just tomorrow morning. I don't think it'll be anything overnight tonight. The new WAFs model is loading in. The new WAFs model is loading in, so we will look at that when it does load. How severe do I think southeastern Indianapolis will get tomorrow? I definitely think you will get at least a severe thunderstorm warning. When it comes to tornado warnings, that's a little bit difficult to predict entirely. But I do think you guys could get some severe weather. That is a storm just to the west of this storm that's popping up. I think the WAFs got that too a couple runs ago. For reference here, chat, the reason why I keep mentioning that the WAFs is loving life is because the WAFs truly got these storms down here near Wichita Falls. All the way down here at the bottom left. All right, that is the WAFs getting that right, and it absolutely blows up across the board and grows upscale. Now, there is the potential for some tornadic activity here in southern Oklahoma and northern Texas, but it's got that right, and then it also got that supercell that's near Enid. It says there's a new supercell that forms, but it hasn't really done that. We'll look at the new run and see what it has for this. It might just be nice for me to zoom out like that, and then when I can later, I might actually make myself a new little graphic thing. Actually, chat, do you mind if I do that after we look at these storms one more time? Because I want to make it so that I can zoom in for you all and you guys can kind of see it a little bit better. I think I might do that. But that is still a lot of hail. That's a lot of hail. Don't get impaled, as me and Morgan like to say. This thing is trying to turn to the right. It is definitely trying. Take a look at a vertical wind profile here. See what this thing could be spinning up with here in this environment. And it's definitely not that bad, but the lower level jet definitely hasn't kicked in yet. And that's kind of the reason why I said over the next 2 hours, that's probably the best opportunity for a strong tornado to form. I'll be honest with you. It'll be when the lower level jet starts to become stronger and stronger and this photograph starts to enlarge a little bit more. It probably will be pretty cyclic, too. We'll have some strong cyclic tornadoes. What's up, Jasmine? Welcome to the stream. The cell is cooked. What's the move? I wouldn't say it's cooked quite yet. Give it a little bit more time. A little bit more time. Worst case is you get to I-35 and it's even more cooked. And if it is even more cooked, then you can use I-35 to your advantage. North, south. Or you can go to Highway 60 if you really want to out of Ponca City. But that's how I feel about that. I think everyone pretty much is on this cell now. There's not even another cell to be on besides the one that's down in Wichita Falls. And those storms are definitely popping up. Alright, chat. That's what I am going to do. I am going to go on to the waft with this. Wait, you can blend? What? Oh, that's pretty cool. I had no idea you can do that. Anyways. We'll go to this. And we'll duplicate the pivotal weather model thing to wafts. What about Okima? Okima, I think, might be... What, Okima's on the eastern side, right? Yeah, it's like southwest of Okmulgee. I think you guys have the potential to see something, but it would be well into the overnight hours. All right, chat. Let us do some nice little... Yes. All right, let us do this. All right, I think we're getting there. Maximum value. How does that look, chat? Does that look pretty decent? Congrats to my Orioles yesterday. Yeah, we almost choked. Why is the cap broke already? It was forecasted to be like this. That is a damage threat, destructive, severe thunderstorm warning. By the way, the cap hasn't fully broke. It's only just in that one area. It's only just in that one area. But that is a damage threat, destructive, severe thunderstorm warning now. That is for Ponca City, Tonkawa, Blackwell, and Newkirk. And we definitely are seeing some pretty large hail. Look at this. 2-inch sized hail. Up to baseball sized hail, which is almost 3 inches in diameter. There is a lot of hail right within this area, so that's a lot of hail. Don't get impaled. Alright, I need to add a new scene called Wafts. Wafts. There we go. I have no idea if the Wafts has... I guess we could just save image. Yeah, that looks good to me. And then we can just go over here. Set from file. Quick access logo. Yeah, there we go. So now we can just pull up the WAFs. This would be available for everyone to see. It works. Look at that, chat. We're doing it live. Reed's that is Reed. Reed Timmer is definitely Reed Timmer. All right, chat. We definitely have this now. So whenever the new wafts comes in, or all the new wafts comes in, look, you see, it even gets the storm to the west of it. Apparently the storm to the west of it also tries to become a little bit more, but it doesn't really do too much. And also the storms in Wichita Falls kind of struggle out. So I think really the only storm that could even try to do anything is the one that we're watching right now. But that is a new severe thunderstorm warning for areas near Wichita Falls. It's actually north of Wichita Falls is where there is some active severe weather. I want to pull up our live camera from Wichita Falls. And it's not looking at the storm directly, but neither is the camera view in Lawton either, which kind of sucks. What's up, Finch Flight? Nice to see you. He really is. That's pretty funny, Sam. I'm not gonna lie. That's pretty funny. Oh, sheesh. All right, if you're in Burke Burnett, Randlet, Cookietown, Walters, Temple, and Geronimo, you guys need to watch out for the potential of some severe weather here. What should you be expecting tonight, tomorrow morning in southwestern Missouri? The remnants of these storms that will likely produce significant damaging winds and large hail. So if you have any valuables outside, that's pets, cars, or I don't know, anything that might be fragile, I'd bring them in. Bring them indoors. All right, let's go back to our storm up north. Once again, damage threat, destructive, severe thunderstorm warning right now for baseball-sized hail. How about them apples? Is there a live camera? I feel like I've asked this question like 5,000 times. Is there a live camera in Enid or Ponca City? It looks like there is a camera. Lucky Star Casino camera. Where the heck is that? Yeah, I have no idea. Blanchard, El Reno, Norman, Tulsa. There's a camera in Bartlesville. Yep, I have no idea, chat. I have no idea. Norman El Reno. I had no idea that there was an El Reno camera. Well, for future reference, we can use these cameras because I guess they want to function now. What the heck is a cowboy cam? Yeah, I have no idea. I think it might just be... I don't know. I'm trying to find a camera for y'all. There is definitely not a sky camera near any of these. The closest one is in Stillwater, and Stillwater is a bit ways away. Excuse me. So yeah, this storm is definitely trying. It's the little engine that could. New mesoscale discussion. You know what, chat? You do bring up a valuable point. Let's bring up IEM bot. IEM bot. Hopefully that's not too loud for y'all. That should be okay. So yeah, that was a new mesoscale discussion. And it is for the Ponca City cell. It says initial supercells will pose a risk for very large hail and locally severe gusts. The tornado threat should gradually increase with northeastward extent. So basically, they're saying that this thing will probably pick up in an hour or two. Just gotta watch out. So yeah, I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna have the camera at Wichita Falls for right now. We'll just deal with that. So the good news is, chat, is things are not happening to be too crazy at this time. But we still gotta watch out and see how things evolve here soon. I appreciate you guys being here, though. It's just going to be one of those streams to where we hope it's boring. We hope nothing happens. There's probably a good chance that stuff does happen, though. I mean, it technically is already happening. Wow, wow, wow. So while we are waiting for storms, actually, not even that, our left split just left splitted. And that's going to produce some significant hail. That one could probably produce some golf ball sized hail near Deer Creek. Don't be surprised. Brahman, Deer Creek, and Nardine. Or Nardin. Do not be surprised at all. Truly. I wouldn't be surprised. Oh, yeah, absolutely. That is something new from IEM bot. Mesoscale discussion, watch possible. That has to be for Northern Kansas, and it is. The Jackets are absolutely not playing around. That's my favorite hockey team. They're not playing around anymore. The Jackets are pimp slapping the Nashville Predators. It's that's crazy. Man, it'd be nice to have a nice little view. Actually, you know what, chat? I think we do have a view. It's not the view you're expecting, but we do have a camera. Chat, bear witness. Bear witness to a traffic camera. This traffic camera is going to get hit by the left split more than likely. That's the funny part about all this. The one that split starting to get a ZDR arc, trust me, that's non-tornadic. That storm, you don't have to worry about that one. That one's going to be producing some large hail and some heavy amounts of rain. That's pretty much it. Left splits are not amazing. I am being stared into. My soul is being stared into by this guy that I'm watching on the side of my screen. That is kind of crazy. I want to bring up here real quickly, chat, just real quickly, just for a little bit, because we are starting to get close to that storm, but I also want to show you guys here as we pull up another tab. So, as I said, we have the threat for severe weather here today. But tomorrow, there is something else. There is something else that has changed compared to what was in our video this morning. By the way, we're going to be uploading a video again tomorrow morning. 9 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Central. Be there or be square. Please be there and be square, actually. Hit that thumbs up button whenever you get to it. Or just have your notifications on so you can join as soon as possible. But that's besides the point. One thing that has changed compared to the video we had this morning is A 4 out of 5 on the severe weather scale has been added. And honestly, I hate to pat myself on the back, but the entire moderate risk is pretty much inside where I circled this morning. There's only one thing that's different from comparing to what I circled and what this moderate risk is. And I extended the moderate risk too far to the north and east. And honestly, I still think it can. I still think we have a shot to see it be extended northeast. But this is kind of where I'm watching for the potential of some significant tornadoes to be possible. It's right in here. Right in here is where we're going to want to watch. I will show you guys here. Once again, huge difference between what the outlook was this morning and now. At first, it was just this larger 10% chance for tornadoes. I think it didn't even go this far north. Did it go this far north, chat? I kind of want to look back at my video and see. Because I don't think it did. I think it actually was a lot further to the south and west. I think. I will pull it up. Yeah, so basically what they did was they shrunk the 10 sig and they pushed it east. So it was originally out a little bit further, and it included areas like the entirety of St. Louis, and it went all the way over to like fully in Texarkana. And actually, it stopped right here. And then what they also did was they cut off the risk here. But they expanded the 10 sig north, and they also added the 15% chance for tornadoes inside of it as well. And if I fast forward to where I circled the moderate. I'm going to try and hand draw it for you all. No promises this is precise, but I did... something like that, chat. Something like that. And the moderate fits about 2/3 of it in. That's what I'd said this morning. And that's not a bad prediction, chat. That's not a bad prediction. I'm not going to lie. Michael with the 2, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. Says, I warned you that this would be stolen. You know, your brother's going to have issues with you. Your brother's absolutely going to have issues with you. But yeah, so that is the risk for tornadoes and just regular severe weather tomorrow. Nothing else really had changed in the wind outlook or the hail outlook besides it being further extended out into north central Texas. So like Dallas-Fort Worth tomorrow is definitely going to get a good bit of activity. They're definitely going to be getting some stuff. What? What did I just look at? That's funny. Anyways. What do I think of the triple point risk up by Chicago tomorrow? So the interesting thing about that risk, originally I thought it was just going to be triple point QLCS spam. I really did. And then I saw the 18Z. And I said, oh goodness. Why is there not as many storms forming? And then I realized the general area opened up. the warm sector opened up. And there is definitely the potential for some supercells in northern Illinois and nowhere else. At least in Illinois. With the exception of extreme southern, but that's besides the point. Like, central Illinois, not impacted. St. Louis, not really impacted all that much. It's northern Illinois and it's southern Illinois, and that's it. You're in Eugene, Oregon airport. See some rotation in the clouds. Check that area real quick. Well, I mean, there isn't really... Yeah, you guys aren't in a thunderstorm risk today. You just have some random storms. But you do have a nice little thunderstorm there on the north side near Junction City. If there is rotation, it's very weak. I don't think it would be enough to produce a tornado or anything like that. Yeah, it doesn't look like it's rapid based off of the first few seconds of it. It just looks like the typical... It looks like the typical Pacific Northwest thunderstorm. So I wouldn't get too crazy about it. So our sky camera or our traffic camera is about to be hit by... Or actually, this one's already getting hit. Chat! I think this thing is dumping some hail on our traffic camera. That might be a little bit better, but we're going to stick with this. Yeah, I think we're getting hail on our traffic camera. Crazy enough. Crazy enough. So we do have a camera that's doing some things. Let's see if we can go back to... See, that's looking north. That's looking south. I wonder if we'll be able to see anything regardless. I'm curious. Looks like our supercell is still trying to elongate and turn right, but it is taking its time, and it definitely has a lot of hail. It's definitely getting there. Thoughts on Indianapolis tomorrow? They're definitely seeing at least some form of severe weather. Most likely thing that I'm seeing right now is strong damaging winds from you all. So the storm that formed to the north of Wichita Falls is now starting to split in all sorts of different directions. It left split. So how about them apples? I want to take a look at the wafts here. Do we have a new run of the wafts? We do indeed, chat. Let's take a look at the new run of the waft. What the new run of the wafts is kind of crazy, chat. We have a supercell in southern Oklahoma. We have a supercell on the border of Kansas and Oklahoma. Yeah, sheesh. Toggle is sounding. Oxford, Kansas. Oxford, Kansas should definitely watch out today. They should definitely watch out for the potential of some significant activity. Oh, that's the verification. Duh. So if we just do... Oh, so that's just what it looks like in the future. That's just the helicity tracks. That makes sense. That does indeed make sense, chat. It also does look like our supercell in southern Oklahoma does sustain for a good bit. So I do think we'll have to watch out for that storm in particular. But the WAFS is proving once again that the WAFS is a really good model. Copy, paste reference. I want to do this here real quick, if you don't mind. That is not what I wanted. Do that. Put that up there. Boom! I think that works out, chat. We now have a name to a face. That is something new from IEMBot. It's a mesoscale discussion concerning Tornado Watch 91. It's probably the southern side of the risk. It is. What's up, Aiden? Welcome to the stream. Splitting supercells initially with a risk of very large hail and severe gusts. The tornado risk will gradually increase with time and northeastern extent. So it's a copy and paste. Splitting supercells. Mostly straight hodograph. Strengthening low-level jet. Enlarge clockwise turning low-level hodographs. Dominant right-moving supercells with an increasing risk of tornadoes. A strong tornado will be possible. Interesting. I know there's a couple random severe thunderstorm warnings in Florida, by the way. I don't see the necessity at looking at them to be honest with you. But I will just keep the wafts up for right now, and we'll wait for that to fully go. But yeah, it does look like over the next 2 hours will probably be what looks to be our peak of our event here this evening. Tonkawa and Ponca City, as well as Kildare, Newkirk, and Blackwell. Significant hail that's moving off into your area here. Please get indoors and stay away from windows. Some big'em hail. Some thickums. Tell you what. Let's look through. How bad do I think Cincinnati area will be tomorrow evening? I do think it could get pretty gusty. The tornado threat is a little bit difficult for me to pinpoint with what all has changed in the models. But I do think you guys could get some pretty significant activity either before nighttime hours or in the middle of the night. You got 2 rounds that you could potentially get. But we're waiting to see what could potentially happen with all that. Wouldn't surprise me if Florida gets a fish NATO. Seems legit. Southcell has better cape and dew points. Even so, the lack of wind shear makes splitting supercells all more common. So it kind of makes things not as great. Huh? I will show my receipts. I don't care. I got called out, chat, for looking at my phone. My fault for wanting to see what the Columbus Blue Jackets scored. Because they scored 3 goals in 20 minutes. That's not something that they do. Unless if it's against the Vancouver Canucks. My fault. Might be time to take a fat L and go home. If you have enough time to get to like Purcell, you might be able to get something. But honestly, chat, always keep the backhand strong. Don't make me come over there. I will. If you know, you know. Well, the good news is that the damage threat destructive severe thunderstorm warning is no longer destructive. It's just damage threat considerable. Although, I find that kind of ironic because damage threat considerable severe thunderstorm warnings are just as destructive, in a sense, as damage threat destructive severe thunderstorm warnings, because golf ball sized hail can really do dents. I mean that both literally and figuratively. I am not a poet, chat. But this is the northern storm here in northern Oklahoma. As we are waiting for something. We're waiting for something to happen. If nothing happens, I'm okay with a boring stream. I'm okay with that. But we also have this stuff tomorrow. I did see Ovi scored 891. I actually watched that. I am not amused, chat. I am not amused. I'm getting texts and I am not amused. I am not getting fooled. I am not getting April Fools. I am not amused. Just left split itself. I feel like that is some. Can you imagine someone using that as a derogatory term? Like, just out of pocket, chat. Because left splitting itself means it's gonna weaken temporarily. I'm gonna left split myself. I'm gonna emotionally left split myself from this situation. There's something wrong with me, chat. I've had a long day. I've almost fell asleep at work like 3 times. I'm not going to work tomorrow. It's not happening. I'm grasping onto whatever sanity I may have left, and it may not be a lot. Will we see tornadoes tomorrow? Probably. We probably will. Go left, split yourself. There's something wrong with me. Chat. Chat. How was that left split at break today? See, here's the thing. I left split away from work a little bit early than I should have going into break, and that was fully on purpose. Okay? I, for like a good stretch of about an hour, did like some good work, and then I just started feeling so drowsy. I definitely wanted to just pass out and fall asleep. So I just left split myself from work just a couple of minutes early, and just sat in my chair and relaxed a little. I'm being told. Now I'm being bullied. Now I'm getting texts. I'm being bullied. You planning to left split work tomorrow? Oh no, I plan a full on cat bust. It's not showing up. It's not happening tomorrow. It's a cat bust for yours truly going to work. It ain't happening. I will have a video for you guys tomorrow morning at 9 Eastern, 8 Central, but going into my other job, no, we are cat busting. It is not happening. Oh, jeez. being a Cleveland Browns fan is nothing but a left split. I think the pain might be even worse than that. But I totally get that too. So that is a new damage threat considerable severe thunderstorm warning here for Temple, Comanche, Coram, Empire City, and Duncan. If you live in these areas, you guys could definitely have some golf ball sized hail. Nate won't even have a CU field tomorrow. No, it'll be the driest cat bust you've ever seen. It's been it's been building up over the span of days. We've had like wildfires that have impacted the open warm sector, and now it's just nothing but dry over mixing. Some dry thunderstorms, if anything. I can't, chat. You left split it away from schoolwork. I fully understand that. Chat, are we gonna meme left splitting now? Is that what we're gonna do? Do I need to get an emote or like a something or whatever? I don't know. Chat, by the way, for people who are members, if you do exclamation point report card, that is from our members only live streams that you guys have participated from. You guys have voted on a new command. Chat. I'm getting April Fool's. Are the Blue Jackets left splitting away from the playoffs? I mean, we're winning 3-1 so far, so I don't think we fully committed to the left split. Right now, I just think we are constantly recycling, and at some point, we're either going to turn into a right mover or we're just going to die. That's what we're going to do. That's my thought. I wasn't going to say that out loud, but that's the reason why I think I'm getting April Fool's. So, chat, today while we're waiting for thunderstorms, I gotta say, I'm a bad friend. I'm a bad friend. But it's only because I made an April Fool's joke. So, oh my gosh. So, I went to go talk to my boss today. I went to his office, just talked to something personal and stuff like that. And I came out, and someone was curious why I went into his office. I was like, oh, you want to know what really happened? You want to know what's crazy? I got fired, but they're telling me to work until the end of the day. And this person's like, what? Are you serious? And I'm like, nah, I'm just kidding. It's April Fool's. And the look on their face went from to like, if you could take the smirk off of my face into the most unamused, like, dude, what the heck? Like, that's what it was. He immediately, or at least I would like to say, he left split away from wanting to talk to me, at least during that moment. Camden, what's up? Welcome to the stream. Do I think the moderate risk will go up further north into Indianapolis? Not that far north, but I do think it'll go up north to an extent. Oh, I'm getting tortured, chat. I am getting tortured. Truly, by the way, chat, there is only a couple of storms and none of them are tornadic, all of which are just producing like golf ball sized hail. The storm did miss Ponca City, so Ponca City did dodge a bullet. But if you're near Kildare and Newkirk, once again, you guys are seeing some hail. I will say the hail core has progressively dropped and died out. So I wonder, is it just getting away from more moisture? Sup, Botnik? What is that? Sheesh. College and grad school is nothing but a left split. That's pretty accurate as well. I I think this stream is we're going to meme the left split. That I think that's what we're doing now. Is that what we're going to so now chat, are we going to add that to our lingo for how we can describe certain situations in the stream? Is that what we're going to do? Goodness gracious. Yeah, there you go. Name the stream something about this. That's if we don't get anything big tonight, alright? Honestly, if I don't see any major improvement from these storms at some point this evening, like, we're gonna be live for another probably hour or two. If nothing changes, or if someone tells me to get off the stream, you know, like, yeah. Well, these storms down here in southern Oklahoma just tried and then did bleh. Whiskey sounds really good, I'm not gonna lie. I will never drink during stream, but I'll tell you what. I wouldn't mind a shot or two. That stuff helps when you're sick and you have a sore throat. That's the good old fashioned. Good thing your birthday's coming. What's up, Kigglers? You haven't missed anything besides us memeing the term left split and now introducing that into our lingo. So, for instance, we are going to be left splitting from this event if this thing does nothing. This event does nothing and busts. We are left splitting. That's what we are going to do. Should drink during the stream, take a shot every single time there's a tornado warning. You know, if there's ever a high risk and I do that, I might genuinely be like incoherent. I might genuinely die. I am a light to medium weight when it comes to my alcohol. I'm not exactly a veteran when it comes to drinking, but I do enjoy it, you know? If I have to take a shot every single time a tornado warning happens, especially in a high risk, oh god. I think I would die. Keaton with the 10, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. Says, hey, Nate, we've had 4 confirmed tornadoes here in southwestern Ohio Sunday. Been watching the weather. They're saying expect a couple of tornadoes, some of which could be strong on Wednesday. They are absolutely correct. The further southwest you are, the higher the chance of seeing stronger tornadoes, in my opinion, in Ohio. So that means Cincinnati is definitely in the main risk for that. So I do agree. And I'm not too surprised that that's 4 confirmed tornadoes in southwestern Ohio. Those spin-ups were quite frequent. So I appreciate you giving us the $10 super chat. Thank you so much. As I said, really do appreciate it. Look at the latest HRRR. It's showing storms at 5 a.m. near Oklahoma popping off. That's pretty typical, to be honest with you. But that stuff would be a lot of hail and wind. Jeez. That is something new from IMBot. That is also a severe thunderstorm watch for Nebraska and Kansas and Missouri. And there also seems to be some storms up there, too. Chat, I'm going to move my Norman radar up there just to go see. No NAM drinking challenges? Yeah, I agree with that. I will not, under any circumstances. What the heck happened in the Jackets game? Yeah, I don't even know anymore. What is this? This game makes me want to consider the following. Makes me want to consider several followings. All right, well, we do have some pretty large hail here in Nebraska. That is pretty high DBZs. Look at that. That's 75 DBZ. Honestly, I have a decent shot here at some golf ball sized hail, or just maybe even ping pong ball sized hail, just a little bit lower than that. I don't think these things, though, are tornadic whatsoever. For reference, there's little to no moisture out here, although relative humidity is at 83%. And convective available potential energy is like -2. I wish I was kidding. But it literally is like -2. Bear witness to our mixed layer cape. Bear witness. Our low-level lapse rates are... Nah, never mind. They're okay. What about our mid-level? See, that's the reason. No, actually, it's not even... Wow, it's not even that crazy. It's just a regular thunderstorm. What happened here? Convergence. Cape can be negative. Yep, that's CINH for reference. Convective inhibition. North Texas guys, what's up? Welcome to the stream. Nice to see you again. Yeah, our cape and our cap hasn't really changed. I'm going to take a look at the WAFs model again. Bring up the WAFs. Chat, the WAFs model might be wrong. This storm is moving a lot quicker than what the WAF says. Well, it's about the same, actually. Never mind. Still, nothing's happening too much. Yeah, Kicklers, I wouldn't be surprised. As I said, I don't blame you if you leave early and you go to sleep. Trust me. All I gotta say is, I said it earlier on Twitter, but it would be really funny. It would be really funny if the only tornado warning was in California today. Which, by the way, there was a tornado warning in California earlier. And I think it might have actually produced a tornado. Oh, well, that's true. You are kind of in France. You are across the pond. I totally get it. Speaking of lingo, because it's April Fool's Day, this live stream I watch every year, their moderators change their names. It's quite hilarious. The quote's nonprofit cat rescue owner says. That's pretty cool. I guess it just is based off of context. I like communities like that. I see what happened on the mesoscale discussion earlier today. This one line was like, I'm a left split on the map. I remember the one that was like that for the Pacific Northwest event last week. Someone memed it. It was pretty funny. All right, I'm curious to see if this new HRRR run gets anything right. Sup, Shell? Welcome to the stream. You haven't really missed too much besides we are now memeing the phrase left split. True that, Kigglers. True that. I can't fault you there. Well, it technically got it right. The HRRR, it's not bad. The storms out in front of it are well, no, it's not really incorrect. Huh. Well, if the HRRR is correct, the storm is the only one that tries to do something. And right now, it's kind of actually starting to get out of range of the radar. Just a little wee bit. Still a lot of hail for folks up here north of I-80 in Nebraska. Central City, Clarks, Chapman, St. Libery. Basically, everyone that's up here in Nebraska that's next to a severe thunderstorm warning could potentially get some spotty hail in your area. So watch out if you can. I'm going to bring our radar to Wichita. Hopefully that'll be in view. Dare you take a look at frame 10 on the 23Z HRRR. It's the most HRRR thing I've ever seen. Frame 10. Yeah, that is something that kind of pops up. But I definitely don't think that's the tornado threat. It seems to be like the hail and wind. Although it could very well be the tornado threat. It'd be late night, overnight. I will say the tornado watch expires at midnight central, and the storms form a couple hours after that. So any idea what you could expect in Lakeside, Ohio tomorrow? I know we're under an enhanced risk. Well, at minimum, I do think you're going to see some severe winds. 60-mile-per-hour winds, maybe 70 is possible in some of these areas. So I would definitely watch out in that regard. Lakeside, Ohio. That's up near Sandusky. So I do think you guys are pretty much in the wind threat. The wind threat, I think, is the main threat for you guys. Tornado threat, I don't think it's as much of a threat. I think you guys are a little too far north. But I do think the severe damaging winds is definitely a real thing for you guys. And it would be right around dark. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. That is, what is this? The Jackets have scored. It's Sean Monahan, and three players on the Columbus Blue Jackets are on hat trick watches. I'll tell you what, chat. This is hilarious. Yuzi Saros is getting sent to China right now. Three Hattie watches for the Columbus Blue Jackets. If we get 3 hat tricks, chat, for my Columbus Blue Jackets, I might honestly lose my mind. It might happen. It genuinely might happen. Cisco, Texas, new storm. Looks like a lot of hail. All the way down there. Yeah, so that storm, the stuff down there in central Texas is definitely more of a hail threat. It is not really anything more beyond that. Waiting for these storms to push through Kansas City area later on tonight. Yeah. A lot of the activity would be some strong damaging winds, to be honest with you. But I definitely do see all the thunder and the lightning happening with that as well. Man, these storms in Duncan and Comanche are just blah. Man, I'm going to have a lot of highlights to watch through tonight for hockey. I already watched Ovechkin's goal, which, by the way, chat, obviously you guys know I'm a hockey guy. If you guys know anything about hockey, or if you've ever heard anything about hockey, you probably have heard of Alex Ovechkin. He is about to take down the one of the most difficult records to break in hockey, the all-time goal-scoring record. And I just so happen to be going to a hockey game, not this weekend, but next weekend in Columbus. And the hope is that I get to see him break it there in Columbus. Columbus is my favorite team, obviously, but Washington's my second favorite team, which is where Ovechkin plays. And they play each other. Let's talk about a double whammy. So that'll be pretty cool. Dallas-Fort Worth over the rest of the week. Tomorrow, you guys are getting some pretty significant activity. So watch out, please. A couple days after that, it's a little bit... It's like a coin flip almost. So I'd wait for it. Stuff to get there. If they get a hat trick, will I take a shot? No. No, I will not. The Capitals have choked. It is now 2-2. What do I think about the start for tomorrow in Northern Illinois? I think the risk for you guys has gotten a little bit more significant than it was last night. With all that clearing that's starting to show up in some of the models, I think a lot of the moisture could be able to get up into Northern Illinois. I think Northern Illinois, basically from... What's that interstate? What's the interstate that goes across from, like, Ottawa all the way to Davenport and then to like Des Moines. I have no idea, chat. Let's see. I-80. If you are I-80 and north, you guys are in the risk for some significant weather tomorrow. If you're I-80 and south all the way down to, say, I-70, maybe not even I-70. What interstate is that south of I-70? 64. If you're I-64 and south, you're in a risk. If you're in between I-80 and I-64, you're not really in a whole lot of stuff besides some damaging winds. So... PDS damaging wind alert? Where at? Where at? If not, that's just whack stuff. What activity and what time frame? Good question. So the remnants of the severe weather that's going to be going on tomorrow will likely move on through near you guys overnight Wednesday into Thursday morning. There's a good chance that those storms could try and pop off near your area. Where and when exactly is a little bit difficult, but I do think it'll start sometime around midnight and maybe heading on a little bit after that. So you used to live in Michigan, went to many Griffins games. See, I'm a Hershey Bears fan. Been a Hershey Bears fan since I was a little kid. It was only about an hour drive away. Just memeing? Oh, of course. Of course, of course, of course, chat. We got the memes. You know, in about 15 minutes, the new 0ZH comes out. Is the new Wafts out? I doubt it. It is not out yet. Still shows those storms are not as significant in southern Oklahoma. So really it's just this one storm that we got to pay attention to. It does have some upper level rotation now though, chat. It is indeed trying to... Actually, it might always have been spinning. Might always has been. Is overconvection in the warm sector for northern Illinois an issue? I would say if it's earlier on in the event, yes. But... Already getting sleepy? don't blame you. I don't blame you at all. There still is some rotation with this storm. It is all over the place. How about them Braves? Braves are definitely working on it. Did they beat the Dodgers? No, did they beat the Dodgers last night, or did the Dodgers win? I thought the Dodgers won last night. Yeah, Dodgers beat the Braves last night. That is a new something from the Storm Prediction Center. Mesoscale discussion. Watch possible 40%. Central Texas. Central Texas. Braves are 0-5, about to be 0-6. That's rough. O's are 3-2. Not by choice, though. Actually, partially by choice, if you're talking about our general manager, who didn't get any pitching. And so we had to suffer by the likes of Charlie Morton. That should sound familiar to you. Is Chicago in a threat for tomorrow? I'd say for strong damaging winds for the most part. There's a small chance for a tornado, but it'll mostly be a damaging wind threat. We'll see how things materialize with this model run from the HRRR. You'll probably have an answer here in about 30 minutes. Oh, it's definitely a solid team. Oh, we definitely are a solid team, at least offensively. Yeah, the Storm is trying to survive, but it's just considering the following, honestly. What I think about the Blackhawks, I think right now they are stuck in a phase of they are waiting for their better players to get better. And they don't really have a whole lot of better players. They also don't have a lot of support around Connor Bedard, so Bedard's just kind of wasting his first years of his career because he has no support to be able to bounce off from. Which is kind of the reason why I wanted him to go to Columbus, but I like Adam Fantilli. Fantilli is doing really well for us. Worried about tomorrow? I understand that, Johnny. I really do. I think as long as you have a plan of action ahead of time, if you live in these areas, you make sure you guys watch out while you can. Be proactive and not reactive, chat. So this is the risk for tomorrow here. They did add the 4 out of 5 on the severe weather scale, as I said they would this morning. I did think that they would extend it a little bit further towards the north and east into southwestern Ohio, but we're waiting to see the potential for some thunderstorms that could try and form in the open warm sector. Anything that's really along the cold front is not going to be able to create your long track tornado, your significant tornado threat, unless if you have embedded supercells within it. And those embedded supercells would have to merge within, or those embedded supercells would have to come from supercells that merge in with the line. So it's kind of just one of those things. Anyone know if there will be hail in the Dallas area tonight? There is a small chance for that to happen. Admittedly, there is a small chance for that to happen. But it will really be tomorrow night into Thursday morning is when you guys could probably see a lot of that. The WAFs just immediately uptrends this storm. That's weird. I feel like over the past few runs, the WAFs has tried to predict the intensification of the supercell on the border of Oklahoma and Kansas. And it's tried to make it bigger in the past, but it just never did. The trend is different now, though. Yeah, it's tried to make it bigger. It's tried to. It's definitely tried to. We'll see what this thing does, chat. Right now, it's currently in the middle of trying to figure itself out. And it's not exactly doing a great job of it, to be honest. It's all over the place. You got like 2 storms in one. It's like a 2-for-1 deal, except it's a bad buffet. Cap do be capping, yeah. It is definitely left splitting from this event, huh? Wow, that first storm just absolutely died near Bray. Now I wonder what this storm near Comanche could try to do. This rear storm near Comanche and Duncan. Buffet is a cheap buffet. Yeah. Chat, if you're a member, exclamation point report card. That's how I feel right now. What's hurting these storms from being intense? Capping inversion. There's a pretty strong inversion aloft in the atmosphere that's inhibiting these from being able to be, or inhibiting it to reach its max potential. Would I want to pursue a career in meteorology? When I can get through college, that would be preferred. But my biggest goal right now with this channel is to get 100,000 subscribers. When I do, I get my plaque, and then I'll figure it out. Does it work? I hope it does. If it doesn't work, that's not very nice. Dang it, Nightbot. Exclamation point report card. Nightbot, you gonna do something? Or no? Nightbot might not be that bright, chat. I'll be honest with you. Please, Nightbot, do something. Well, that storm near Duncan is considering the following. Nightbot did pull a left split. You're absolutely right, chat. Please tell me exclamation point woof at least works. So that works, but everything else does. By the way, can we talk about how the woof command has been used almost 2,000 times? Can we talk about that? So why does exclamation point report card not work? It might be because... Alright, I think I know why it doesn't work. Alright, we just created it for members. Alright, so instead we changed it to exclamation point RC. Maybe it works. Hey! It works, chat. There we go. Please create an exclamation point. Consider the following. I might just change that to a CTF. Exclamation point CTF. Consider the following. Anyways, for members that feel like they are disgusted, use that command. It is members only because you guys voted on your own personal command. So there you go. And by the way, that was decided in our members only live stream last night. So if you missed that, unfortunate. But we always have nice little members only live streams 48 hours before a major event. So in this case, it would be Wednesday is when our major event is. And we reacted to the HRRR last night. We reacted to what tomorrow could potentially be, as well as what could potentially be tonight as well. Make an exclamation point left split command too. That one I might make for the general public. That one I might make for just the general public and not members only. A CTF warning has been issued for the following counties. Oh my gosh, why does that work? Thunderstorm here in Orlando thanks to the coast and the coast sea breeze. Yeah, that sounds about right. There was a storm to the east of you guys that had a severe thunderstorm warning too. But right now, we only have 4 severe thunderstorm warnings, 2 of which is in the actual main area of severe weather. You don't get it. Did you miss something? So earlier on today, we were talking about left splits, and what left splits basically are is it's basically a natural process of thunderstorms for them to try and attain maturity. It doesn't always work though, and it also sometimes comes with a period of weakening, so yeah, we use the word left split now to describe situations that we want to get away from. It's our lingo now. It's in our lingo. Well, you know command. So we can count how many times Nate says the magic words. Chat, am I just being a blonde? What is that supposed to mean? What do you mean a well you know command? Am I just ignorant to my own behaviors? Is that what it is? Man. I accidentally bit my cheek. Now it kind of hurts. Only when I like rub my teeth up against it accidentally. Excuse me. Like Tears of Kingdom while I wait for whatever these storms may do. I fully understand that. Trust me. If these storms don't do anything here soon, I might oof myself from the stream and just wait until it does. Like, genuinely. I might just, like, go on standby mode, end the stream, and then if anything bad happens, I'll cut the stream back on. What does the 0ZHRRR say, though? Huh? Chat, it's cooked according to the HRRR. The HRRR says nothing happens. Good day, sir. But tomorrow, however, we're going to wait until the rest of tomorrow. We'll wait for the rest of the HRRR model to come in. What? 5 minutes. So I think other people on YouTube who are live streaming have the same idea. Now, to be fair, I wouldn't use the HRRR as an actual, like, you know, guidance for what's going to be happening tonight. If anything, I'd use the WAFs. But the WAFs has been also a little inconsistent with some of its models too, so I bleh. Me too, Leslie. This event tonight's making me tired. I could sleep. This keyboard looks like a nice pillow. Reminder, everyone, we will have a video uploaded at 9 a.m. Eastern tomorrow, 8 a.m. Central. Please, if you can, come out. Even if you can't watch the video for a long time, just hit that thumbs up button down below. You click it, and then boom. April Fool from Mother Nature. You know, Leslie, I said that earlier. I'm going to pull up that tweet now. But it's even more context than that. It's pretty funny. This is my tweet that I had today. I'll zoom in. There you go. This right here, chat, is a tornado warning that was for California. You can tell this is for California because this is the ocean here. This is the Bay Area. And this also has Grass Valley, California labeled. And Nevada City, California, right there. All right. And so then I responded with a, I'm going to laugh if this is the only tornado warning of the day. This very well would truly be an April Fool's joke from Mother Nature. I think that's what I'm going to name the stream. I know some people wanted me to name it the left split of 20. Kirill Marchenko got a hat trick. The Columbus Blue Jackets have scored. It is 8-3. Sheesh. 8-3 Columbus against the Predators. Anyways, point being is, today would be the April Fool's bust of April 1st, 2025. That's what I would name this. I'm not what do you mean? Get verified for boosted. How do I do that? Let's move that over here. What? I thought I was already. This doesn't make any sense, chat. I think Twitter canceled my premium. Oh well. When my bun's busted for April Fools. Yeah, there we go. Seems legit. Of course. Is Yuze Saro still in net, or did they pull him? They did pull him. How's the Washington Capitals doing? Well, they're not losing. They're not winning either. Ryan Leonard has 3 hits and 0 shots on goal. As I said, does nothing. I'm going to say today's a bust for a tornado threat today. I'm still waiting for a couple more things, but... We're waiting for this HRRR run to run for tomorrow. We'll get this for you guys. We'll see what tomorrow could look like before... Hey, listen. We could end the stream here in, say, like, 15, 20 minutes, hypothetically. If stuff still doesn't look like it's doing anything, we'll, like, end it, and then... Yeah. Does today depend on what happens tomorrow? Yesterday is tomorrow, so just do it. That's all I'm going to say. On the other hand, yes, today can fully impact what happens tomorrow. Predators are left splitting for real, for real? Absolutely. And as a Jackets fan, I am excited about it. I will take it. How severe do I think Southeast Indianapolis will get tomorrow, tornado-wise? I don't think it'll be too crazy. It'll happen sometime around 8 or 9, though. If there is anything. See, chat, what we're waiting for, what we're watching for here with the models is these storms out in front of the line. You see that? Those are the ones that could potentially become significant and try and produce supercells and produce your long track violent tornadoes, if you will. I don't even think they would probably just be intense tornadoes at this rate. But there's also some of these other popcorn storms out in front that we would need to watch out for. So now we're just waiting for the rest of the HRRR to run. Run, HRRR. And of course, everyone's going to want to call it the Herb. I do not care. I was raised under the Discord server of Torads. They taught me pretty much everything I needed to know. Were great mentors and great friends, by the way, too. One day I definitely need to hook back up with them and talk about meteorology and stuff, but... Alright, well, the initial development here of these storms in southwestern Missouri appear to be supercellular, but non-tornadic. It says possible hazard type tornado, but the photograph screams linear. There is not any effective storm relative helicity that is constructive to this thing actually trying to produce a tornado. Well, that supercell does continue. So that'll probably be the beginning of our severe threat. Sometime around noon or 1 in the afternoon. Take a look at our mixed layer cape here just to make sure. Chat, I think instability downgraded. No, it upgraded. Never mind. It went further north and it got stronger. Oof. You know what? That's kind of scary, chat. If this advects up into the Mississippi River Valley, I kind of predict, according to this model run, some pretty intense storms. It's not out of the question. Bulk shear still appears to be favorable in just that corridor. See, a lot of people were trying to figure out why Eastern Kentucky and Eastern Tennessee was cut out of the risk. It's simply because the bulk shear in this area is just very subpar. Any thunderstorm that's out there won't really sustain all too much. It's these areas right here that's along the Ohio River and in western Tennessee. You'll see this start to evolve pretty quickly into a rather significant thunderstorm hotspot. You know, ironically, the previous model run showed that Chicago and northern Illinois could potentially be in the main risk of some significant weather. Now it doesn't really look like that. And even though there's a lot of high significant tornado parameter values up in, like, the Chicago area, well, that does look pretty nice, but there's not really a thunderstorm to take advantage of that environment. The Predators just scored. I don't even know who that guy is. We let a no-name score on us. We need a better goaltender. New Orleans area? New Orleans not being impacted. It'll be fine. You guys will get your stuff probably a couple days after. Yeah, there is not a single storm that is going to try and take advantage of that environment in northeastern Illinois. And I think I might know why. Well, chat, there you go. Goodbye. I told you all. I told you all. I told you all. Did I not say that the Cape, because the Cape looked like it uptrended on the model, it looked like stuff was going to go off. Look at that. Look. Look. Massive uptrend in convective available potential energy at the mixed layer. Theta E. Let's see. They might expand that moderate risk southeast. Oh, they're definitely gonna... Oh my gosh. Yeah, goodbye. That is absolutely the reason why there is stuff there. That is a shortwave. That is a surface shortwave. That is gonna be Storm Haven, ladies and gentlemen. Storms will form on the Mississippi River from Greenville, Mississippi, all the way up into Memphis. Or at least somewhere in there. My goodness gracious. Forget cold front. Cold front is terrible. Cold front is cheek. Prefrontals, that's where it's at. That's where it's at tomorrow. Yeah. You know what? I want to see, did previous models pick up that? The 18Z picked it up. The 18Z picked it up. And only recently. Now the 0Z is picking it up, especially since there is more moisture. This is a massive uptrend here, guys. This is so much different compared to what it was last night. You could see the clear difference in Theta E. This is almost night and day. I won't lie, chat. This is definitely tomorrow is definitely a rather intense looking day. I want to see, though, what makes this environment different from this one here. More dry air loft. That's what it is. The air aloft seems drier, period. So that favors discrete supercells if they are able to form. And then it becomes a hodgepodge, which is exactly what we anticipated. This is going to grow upscale very quickly, chat. All right. As I said earlier on in the stream, we're talking about very small window of opportunity. We're talking about, say, 2 or 3 hours of discrete supercells that can form out in front of the line. And then any supercell that stays out in front of this mess will be able to produce your significant tornadoes, some of which could be long track, some of which could be intense in nature, right? But the reason why this whole line back here is as much of a QLCS as it is because the upper level shear is parallel to the boundary. All of its ventilation, all of the rain that is coming from these thunderstorms is actually being blown into each other. And so therefore you have this giant elongated area of rain, showers, and thunderstorms with quite possibly some embedded supercells that could potentially try to produce tornadoes. Wow. Northern Mississippi once again. Someone said day 1 is updated and the 10 sig. Did the 10 sig get moved further north, chat? No. They just trimmed it. That's all they did. Okay. That makes sense. Although I will say, chat, now that I think about it, it doesn't really make too much sense. And I'll tell you why. We'll move over here to the Outlook, show you guys this real quickly as something new just popped up. Probably a mesoscale discussion here for OKC. All right. So you guys see the enhanced risk. You see the 10% chance for tornadoes. You see the 10 sig that is just basically where the 10% chance for tornadoes is at. What doesn't make sense to me is why is a part of the 10 sig in the severe thunderstorm watch? Why is there a severe thunderstorm watch for here? Why is there supposed to be, is the overnight threat tonight a part of the significant tornado threat? Is that what that is? Is that what is happening? Is that is not legit. There is a half slight, half enhanced risk. Not legit. Anyways. Model solutions produce scattered thunderstorms. Northern Oklahoma, if this occurs, and the threat for a supercell with large to very large hail, tornado threat could also develop. Dry line. Tornado threat will also be possible, especially as storms move eastward into strengthening low-level jet later tonight. A strong tornado could occur. So that's why they firmly believe that the storms that will form in a line along the dry line, they firmly believe that this stuff here. Nice to see you, BDT. They firmly believe that this stuff right here in this line could potentially produce strong tornadoes. That's why they have the 10 sig. And then this here as well. It's basically an overnight threat, a late overnight threat. So I'll tell you what, chat. I'll tell you what. We'll finish looking at the models for tomorrow's event. We'll actually end the stream here soon. And then if there is anything that pops up later on tonight, and there's a very good chance that it could, we'll see. I'll try to get on and go live. I'll try and see what I can do. But late overnight tonight, there is going to be a tornado threat. Yeah, for reference, by the way, the mesoscale discussion for the severe threat is, and I quote, the tornado threat appears to have decreased substantially, especially in the near term. What the? I almost cursed, chat. What is this? What is this? Excuse me. Chat, I'm not sure what type of abstract art they're trying to create with the tornado watch, but that's not legit. Why is there 2 counties left in the tornado watch here in Texas? And there's just a huge gap, and then there are more. That is a perfect time for the exclamation point RC very tired. That is an absolute perfect time. That's why we have that command for you all. I'm disgusted. I'm disgusted. I'm disgusted. Yeah, that is that is absolutely wonderful. That is totally exactly what you want as a tornado watch, what it looks like, all that stuff. Yeah. The tornado watch got dry air entrained. See, this is the reason why, and that severe thunderstorm warning for the Purdy cell next to Paul's Valley just died. So really, there's only one more severe thunderstorm warning in this event, and then it's pretty much dead. Can I just say, Chad? All right. The Storm Prediction Center once again did an amazing job by not upgrading this to a moderate risk. Keeping it as an enhanced was the perfect thing they could have done. It was the best thing they could have done. Because truly, this event was as much of a question mark as anyone could think about. And this event is clearly not over, right? There is still one severe thunderstorm warning here in southeastern Kansas. There's the severe thunderstorm warning for Salina as well. There's a couple more severe thunderstorm warnings in Nebraska. But in total, there are 4 severe thunderstorm warnings right now. There are a total of 4. A lot of these storms right now are genuinely just producing a lot of large hail. And that's pretty much it. There is not much more beyond it. There's a lot of inversion aloft in the atmosphere, and it's held together. It's limited a lot of these storms from being able to try to be significant, which is great. It's absolutely amazing the fact that we did not get any sort of significant tornadoes here in the beginning of this event, like what some people thought. All right. There are still the threat for some significant tornadoes overnight tonight. Overnight tonight, from midnight-ish and onwards, with a lot of these storms here near Great Bend and Salina, this could potentially be the beginning of your other significant tornado threat, at least overnight. So we will genuinely have to see. The Diamondbacks got a grand slam. Go away, Yankees. Haha. Let's go. I am so happy the Yankees are losing. Did the Caps just score? They did. It's Dylan Strome. Cool. Let's go to the models one more time, chat. I want to look at tomorrow again. And then we will actually end the stream and be on standby. Wow. You know, chat, Northern Ohio could probably see some significant damaging winds. I honestly wouldn't be surprised. 60 to 70 mile an hour winds. I would not be surprised. Caps just scored again. It's Tom Wilson. Yep, the Caps are a wagon. Ryan Leonard has a +1. Who knew? Now please check run sounding for Denver, Colorado tomorrow. Why? What's happening in Denver tomorrow? Nothing's happening in Denver tomorrow. What's going on over there? I have absolutely no idea what's happening over there. Cold. Cold and maybe snow. Otherwise, there's nothing. Denver is good. All right, chat. As I said, it looks like that's all she rode for us. A lot of these storms here tonight here in central Kansas. That's where there could potentially be another tornado threat possible. We'll watch that like a hawk. You guys know how it is. Yep, I live in Pennsylvania. I live in southern Pennsylvania. Man, that storm just died. We're going to move this radar over to Topeka. I should look at the NAM 3 kilometer. I shall not. I'm not going to look at the NAM 3 kilometer. The Bruins just scored. Charlie Lindgren, what are you doing? Could this turn into a derecho? Maybe for Northern Ohio, it's possible. Nate ending the stream early. I did say that if nothing really happened, we would end the stream and go in standby mode. We would just wait until potentially something significant happens. If that does happen, it may be a couple hours from now, to be honest with you. Look at the RFS model. Do they have a new run? They do have a new run, but honestly, I don't really want to. I'll be honest with you. I don't think there's really going to be anything that's going to change my mind about how I feel about tomorrow. About Middle Tennessee, what day should be, what time of day should we be worried about that for you all? Overnight. Late overnight hours. Who scored? Pasternak. That's what it is. Well job. Yeah, middle of the night, localized flooding. Wind. That's pretty much what we got, to be honest with you. There's not really too much craziness. So, has the tornado threat increased or decreased for tomorrow as of last night? It's about the same. Might be a little bit less in portions of Indiana and Ohio and more in portions of northern Mississippi. So, all right, chat. Yeah, as I said, Middle Tennessee tomorrow is going to be seeing just a lot of rain and some winds. Maybe the chance for a spin up or two is possible. But I think that's it for right now. I think we should be good. Let's go through our outlooks one more time here. Once again, there is still the chance for some significant tornadoes tonight. If something does happen, we'll see if we'll be able to be back live on stream, whether if I can wake up or whether I'm still awake by then. Tomorrow, significant chance for some severe weather extending from the Great Lakes all the way down into the Mississippi River Valley and down into northern Texas. Dallas-Fort Worth could absolutely be a part of the risk tomorrow night, so please watch out for that. When will I be live tomorrow? More than likely will be sometime in the early afternoon. I would expect the time to be sometime from 12 to 3. That's sometime around then when I would be live. That's what I'm guesstimating. We will also have a video tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Central. If you can, please come out as soon as it happens. You can be notified by just turning on, channel notifications. If you've hit that subscribe button already, it's right next to the subscribe button. It's that bell icon that's right there. You click that, you'll stay up to date with all the latest that we have here on the channel. And as I said, if you can, as soon as you get into the video, please be sure to hit that thumbs up button down below. It helps us get onto the YouTube algorithm and spread the information with more and more people who could potentially be impacted. That's the big thing. We want to spread it to people who could potentially be impacted. And then, yeah, after the video, it'll just be us waiting for us to have a live stream, and then that's pretty much it. Surprisingly, not all too crazy. They fixed the goofy all watch? Yeah, they did. They absolutely did, chat. Thank goodness. All right. I think that's going to be it for us, guys. I will catch you guys hopefully not later on tonight. Hopefully not. If I'm not needed later on tonight, that means nothing happened overnight. So hopefully you guys will see me tomorrow morning for an update on what's going to be happening with our severe weather threat and our moderate risk, our 4 out of 5 on the severe weather scale. If you know anyone, by the way, who's in the path of these storms tomorrow, just send them a text message. Let them know something could be happening over there. But yeah. Please be safe if you are in the path of these storms tonight. And yeah, I will catch you guys hopefully tomorrow, but in a general term, next time. Peace out, guys.